Okay, imagine this for a second. What if the worst time of day for your body's crucial functions, like uh, blood flow and natural cellular repair, was precisely the moment you're typically waking up?
Right, like 8 a.m.
Exactly,
Mhm.
8 a.m. What if that wasn't just when your alarm goes off, but potentially when your body is, at a unique kind of low point?
It's a really counterintuitive thought, isn't it? We tend to think of morning as this fresh start,
Yeah.
but some of the science, well, it suggests it might actually be a period of vulnerability for certain
It really
systems.
does challenge that common thinking. And that's exactly the kind of fascinating insight we love digging into here on the deep dives.
Hmm.
Our whole mission is always to take a stack of sources, maybe a research paper, some notes breaking it down, who's interested in it, and just pull out the most important, maybe surprising bits of knowledge for you.
Yeah, we're here to kind of guide you through the data, highlight the core findings, and help you understand not just the what of the science, but the so what, like why it might matter for how you think about your body and your daily routine.
Absolutely. So today, we're diving into the incredible and honestly sometimes surprising world of your body's internal clock, the circadian rhythm.
Right.
We're focusing specifically on how it seems to really influence your vascular function, basically, how your blood vessels are working,
How well blood flows.
and your body's own natural repair systems.
Hmm.
And this is all grounded in some really compelling peer-reviewed research.
Definitely. The main source for this deep dive is a pretty significant study. It came out of Emory University School of Medicine,
Okay,
and this work was published back in 2014 in a really well-respected journal, the Journal of the American Heart Association. So it's solid science.
good stuff. And we actually found this study, or rather saw it highlighted and broken down really clearly on the Orium's Fit Research Digest blog.
Ah,
Yeah, it's this resource that focuses specifically on simplifying these, sometimes complex science-backed insights about wellness and performance.
that's useful.
It really is.
Right.
And it's interesting seeing brands engage with this level of research. I mean, speaking of wellness and recovery, Orium's Fit, they're an Australian-owned brand,
Right.
and they focus on high-quality products, things designed to help people feel their best, optimize recovery. And their whole approach often involves exploring research just like this to understand the science behind well-being.
And that connection, grounding wellness ideas in actual research, that's so important.
Totally.
So our goal now is to walk you through the details of this Emory study. We'll break down the findings, focusing on the facts, what they mean, and make sure you get the key insights without getting bogged down in, too much jargon.
Perfect. All right, let's really get into this specific study then. What were the researchers at Emory actually trying to figure out? What was the main question?
Well, their primary goal was to look into something called diurnal variation, which is basically just how things change over the course of a day, like a 24-hour cycle.
Okay, daily changes.
Exactly. They specifically wanted to see if blood vessel function and the activity of the body's natural repair cells, these are a type of stem cell called progenitor cells, if those things followed a predictable pattern over a full day in healthy people.
So looking for a daily rhythm, a
Okay.
biological rhythm.
Precisely. And they had a hypothesis. They thought that this daily pattern in how well the blood vessels worked and how active the repair cells were
Yeah.
might actually line up with the timing of cardiovascular events, things like heart attacks and strokes, which we already know happen more often at certain times of day.
Ah, especially the morning, right? I've heard that.
Exactly, particularly in the morning hours.
That makes a lot of sense then. If those bad events spike in the morning, maybe there's something happening physiologically at that time that makes the body more vulnerable.
That was the idea they were exploring.
So who took part in this? And how do they actually measure all this stuff?
Okay, so they recruited 15 healthy adults. And it's important, they were all non-smokers, weren't on any regular meds,
Right.
and didn't have any pre-existing conditions that would mess with vascular health, like diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, none of that.
Okay, a clean slate, health-wise. What about age?
Ages range from 21 up to 67, so a decent spread, not just young folks.
Good. And where and when did this happen?
The actual tests were done at Emory University Hospital facilities and the Atlanta Clinical and Translational Science Institute. And like we said, the paper came out in 2014.
Okay, got it. Now the how. Measuring things across 24 hours sounds tricky. How'd they manage that?
Yeah, it required some pretty rigorous monitoring. The participants basically stayed in a controlled setting,
Oh, okay.
and the researchers took measurements 7 times over a full 24-hour cycle.
7 times. When were those?
They tested at 8 a.m., then noon, 4 p.m., 8 p.m., midnight, 4 a.m., and then back around to 8 a.m. the next morning.
Wow, okay. Throughout the day and night. So what exactly were they measuring each time?
They honed in on three key things related to vascular health and repair. First, blood flow. They measured it in the brachial artery, that's the main one in your upper arm,
Right.
using ultrasound, just to see how easily blood was moving.
Okay, blood flow. What else?
Second, arterial stiffness. Basically, how flexible or rigid the artery wall was. They used a technique, pulse wave velocity or tonometry. Think of it like measuring how fast a pulse wave travels down the artery.
So faster wave means stiffer artery.
Exactly. Stiffer arteries, faster wave. You want them flexible.
Got it. And the third thing?
Third, they took blood samples. They counted the number of those circulating progenitor cells, the repair cells we mentioned.
Okay.
And they also checked how active those cells were, not just how many there were.
Right. Number and activity. Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. The findings. What did they actually discover about blood flow, stiffness, and those repair cells over the 24 hours? Was there a clear pattern?
Oh, yeah. There was a very clear, very consistent pattern across pretty much everyone in the study. It was quite striking, actually.
Okay, let's break it down. What about blood flow? When was it best? When was it worst?
Okay, so blood flow function, how well the vessels dilated, was significantly better at certain times. It actually peaked around midnight.
Midnight. Interesting.
Yeah. And conversely, it was at its lowest point, its worst performance, in the morning at 8 a.m. and also dipped significantly around 8 p.m.
So bad in the morning, good around midnight. Did they quantify that?
They did. The specific measure they used for blood flow improvement, it was 30.4% higher at midnight compared to the 8 a.m. reading.
Whoa, over 30% better performance just based on time of day? That's substantial.
It really is.
Okay, what about arterial stiffness? We want flexible arteries, right? Not stiff ones.
Exactly. And the findings here were maybe even more dramatic. Arteries were stiffest, indicating poorer function right at 8 a.m.
Okay, matching the low blood flow.
Right. And they were softest, most flexible, so their best condition around 4 p.m. and again around midnight.
And how big was that difference?
This was quite remarkable. Arterial stiffness dropped a full 65% at midnight compared to its peak stiffness measured at 8 a.m.
Wait, 65%?
65% less stiff.
That's incredible. Your arteries were over 60% more flexible at midnight than when you're, like, grabbing coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
That really hammers home this daily rhythm thing.
So that's a huge difference, yeah.
Okay, and the third piece, the repair cells, the progenitor cells, what was their daily cycle?
Very similar pattern. The counts, the number of these cells circulating in the blood, also showed a clear daily rhythm.
Okay.
Their numbers were lowest, again, consistently at 8 a.m.
Wow, everything low at 8 a.m.
Pretty much. And the cell counts were highest at 8 p.m. The study reported the counts were 44% higher at 8 p.m. compared to that morning low.
44% higher. And their activity?
Their activity levels, how busy they were, followed a similar pattern too. Highest activity around midnight, lowest in those early morning hours.
Wow. Okay, so let's try and pull this all together. Sum up the rhythm based on this study. It sounds like, essentially, your body's vascular function, blood flow, artery flexibility, and its natural repair systems for those vessels. They're all kind of at their lowest ebb right in the early morning, like 8 a.m.
That's what the data strongly suggests, yes.
And then things tend to improve through the day, often peaking late evening or even around midnight. And that timing lines up almost perfectly with when we know those cardiovascular events, like heart attacks, are more common.
It provides a pretty compelling potential biological reason for that known statistical pattern. The body just seems to be in a less favorable vascular state during those early morning hours, according to this data.
Okay, this science is genuinely fascinating. But let's connect it back to you listening right now.
Yeah.
Why does this research about your body clock and these specific functions actually matter day to day?
Well, I think if you've ever felt, particularly stiff in the morning, maybe a bit slow getting going, or just not feeling totally physically sharp right after waking up.
Yeah, I definitely felt that.
This research gives a potential, science-backed glimpse into why. It suggests that at that exact time, your underlying physiology, your blood flow, your artery flexibility, it's naturally in a less optimal state compared to later.
It gives context to that feeling.
Exactly. It puts some biology behind that common morning stiffness idea. It might be more than just muscles. It could be tied to these deeper vascular rhythms.
That's a really good point. Now, the study itself, it was just observing these natural rhythms in healthy people, right? They didn't test any specific, like, wellness routines or tools.
Correct. It was purely observational, establishing the baseline. It revealed this pretty strong natural cycle in things like blood flow, vascular health, repair mechanisms.
Which are precisely the kinds of areas that a lot of wellness tools and practices are actually trying to support or influence.
Exactly. Things aimed at improving circulation, reducing stiffness, promoting recovery.
And that's where knowing about these rhythms becomes potentially really useful for your own wellness journey. I mean, thinking about these findings, that your body's natural ability to support good blood flow and repair seems to peak late evening or night. It raises a really interesting question, doesn't it? Could aligning activities, or maybe using tools designed to support these functions, could that be more, I don't know, synergistic or beneficial when your body's already kind of primed for it?
It definitely suggests that timing could matter. If your body is naturally shifting towards better repair and flow at night, maybe supporting those processes then works with your biology instead of against it.
Yeah, it makes you think about when you do things. Like, for example, Orium's Fit, the brand, whose Research Digest blog highlighted this study. They focus on wellness and recovery products.
Right, things like EMS devices, massage guns.
Exactly. Tools often used for muscle stimulation, relaxation, and, importantly here, supporting circulation. These are directly relevant to what the Emory study was measuring. And Orium's Fit seems keen on this science. They feature this kind of research on their blog to give people insights.
And while this specific study didn't test, say, an Orium's Fit massage gun or EMS device,
No, it didn't.
it does show that your body's internal environment for vascular health isn't static. It changes dramatically. Knowing your arteries might be over 60% less stiff at midnight compared to 8 a.m.
Yeah.
and that your repair cells are more plentiful and active then, it really makes you consider the body's natural state of readiness.
So maybe if you're using something like a massage gun for recovery, or an EMS device for relaxation or circulation support, or even just doing your stretching routine, could timing it for later in the day, maybe evening, potentially align better with your body's natural peaks instead of trying to push against that morning low?
It's a plausible idea worth considering.
And Orium's Fit, they design their products like the portable EMS and massage guns to be convenient, easy to fit into your routine whenever works, whether you're winding down or need recovery on the go. They seem to encourage exploring this science. Their Research Digest blog is a good spot to find links to original studies like this one if you want to go deeper.
It's really about using this knowledge of your body's rhythms to maybe make more informed choices about how and when you use wellness tools or practices.
Definitely. Now, we absolutely have to mention the limitations here. This was a small study,
Yeah, only 15 people.
15 healthy adults. So these findings, while really interesting, might not apply to everyone, especially people with existing health issues, heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure. Their rhythms might be totally different.
That's a crucial point, and the researchers themselves noted this too. They also pointed out that while they saw this clear daily pattern, the study couldn't definitively say if it was purely the body's internal clock driving it, or if it was also influenced by external things linked to the daily cycle, like waking up, being active, hormone shifts that happen naturally.
So cause and effect isn't totally pinned down.
Right. Separating those factors needs more research.
Still, the consistency of the patterns they found, across blood flow, stiffness, and repair cells, yeah, that's pretty strong evidence that something significant and rhythmic is going on in the vascular system over 24 hours.
Absolutely. It's a robust finding pointing to a clear physiological rhythm, even if the exact drivers aren't fully isolated yet.
Okay, time for a quick, cool bonus fact from the study about those repair cells, the progenitor cells.
Yeah.
Their job is super important. They circulate around, and they actually get released when there's injury or stress in your blood vessels.
Like a response team.
Exactly. They go to the site of damage
Yeah.
and literally participate in repairing and regenerating the tissue.
So you can kind of think of them as your body's own tiny construction crew for your blood vessels.
Totally. And this study showed their numbers and activity swing dramatically through the day.
being least available and active right when your arteries are stiffest and blood flow is worse.
It really highlights how intricately timed everything is. The body's protective systems, the repair systems, they have their own schedule.
So let's bring this all back together. This deep dive into the Emory University study, which we found via resources like the Orium's Fit Research Digest blog, it's really revealed this powerful natural circadian rhythm working inside your vascular system.
Yeah, a clear daily cycle.
And this rhythm seriously impacts how well your blood flows, how flexible or stiff your arteries are, and even the number and activity of your body's own vascular repair crew.
Mm-hmm. All fluctuating throughout the day.
And the data points pretty clearly to the early morning, especially around 8 a.m., as being a consistent low point for all these things.
Right, the least favorable state based on these metrics.
While the late evening and night seem to be when these systems are in a more favorable state, maybe more naturally regenerative. Understanding that natural ebb and flow is key. It provides that scientific basis for realizing your body just functions differently depending on the time.
Which brings us to our final provocative thought for you to chew on as we wrap up. Knowing your body has these built-in ups and downs in vascular function and repair readiness, how might consciously thinking about the timing of certain things in your routine, maybe your stretching, your workout, even just a relaxation moment, or when you use tools meant to help circulation or recovery,
Yeah.
how might adjusting the timing potentially influence how you feel or the results you get? Is there maybe a little personal experiment waiting for you to try based on this?
It's about taking these cool scientific insights and seeing, how they might help you optimize your own path to feeling good.
Exactly. We really hope we've managed to take this, fairly complex research paper and make these really surprising facts about your body's clock understandable, maybe even kind of exciting.
Recognizing and maybe even working with these natural rhythms is such a fundamental part of wellness, I think.
I agree. And as we explored this today, we mentioned Orium's Fit a few times.
Hmm.
They're a brand that seems genuinely invested in personal wellness and recovery, really trying to ground things in science.
Mm.
Their focus on high-quality, award-winning products, things like their portable EMS devices, their massage guns designed to support recovery and circulation, it really aligns with exploring the science behind feeling your best.
Right.
And they encourage that learning through resources like their Research Digest blog, which I always said is a great place to find more of these science-backed insights and even get links straight to original studies like the Emory one we talked about. So you can dive even deeper if you want.
Yeah, exploring the science behind these rhythms and having access to tools designed thoughtfully around supporting related functions, that's all part of empowering yourself on your wellness journey. You can learn more about the research they highlight, check out their range of products. They even have unique things like the neck theater for immersive audio relaxation just by visiting their website.
Definitely worth a look if you're interested in that intersection of tech and wellness. So if you found this deep dive into your body's clock and vascular health as fascinating as we did, please share it. Share it with someone you know who just loves learning how their body works.
Yeah, spread the knowledge.
Your curiosity is really what fuels these deep dives and makes them possible. Thanks for joining us.